It's my base. It's ruined from countless players griefing it non-stop and chaos ensuing when explosives are brought into the mix. How did this happen, you ask? A few days earlier, I had been hanging out with someone named Eat Green. He was pretty chill, and we were just messing around, nothing serious. During that time, my friend had managed to level up his cat to level 2, unlocking the ability to receive fish whenever he fed it. Realizing how useful this was, he began feeding his cat non-stop, stacking up as many fish as possible. Once he had enough, his plan was simple: turn all the fish into fish fillets and use them to pickpocket Eat Green. And that's exactly what he did. It worked perfectly, and he walked away with a huge payday. But things didn't stay calm for long. Not long after, Eat Green's friends showed up. They immediately started trying to break into our base, clearly looking for revenge or to take back what was lost. What followed was 25 straight minutes of non-stop attempts, constant pressure, no breaks, just wave after wave of them trying to get in. And after all of that, this is what I came back to. I had gotten jumped. They broke in without warning and completely ruined everything I had worked for. From the top to the very bottom, there was nothing left untouched. Every section of my base was destroyed, like a storm had torn straight through it. There was no saving it, no rebuilding what once stood. Eventually, I had no choice but to move out and retreat to a temporary camp, where my teammates and I stayed for a while, trying to recover from the damage and figure out what to do next. But after this encounter, something shifted in my mind. There were two things I knew had to happen, no matter what: revenge and a new base. Not just any base, though, something stronger, something better, something they could never reach again. That thought stayed in the back of my mind, growing stronger the more I thought about everything I had lost. After nearly 16 hours of traveling across the world, pushing through different terrains and obstacles, and gathering over 3,000 diamonds along the way, I finally found it, the perfect location. It wasn't just hidden, it was high in the sky, far above everything else, almost unreachable. It felt safe, isolated, and powerful, like a place where I could finally start again without constantly looking over my shoulder. While King Buzzy, my teammate, stayed back at the camp, still deciding whether he wanted to remain there or follow me to this new location, I began moving in on my own. Piece by piece, I started rebuilding. I constructed 2 clean, well-designed sections for my base, making sure everything was organized and efficient. It wasn't finished yet, but it was a start, a fresh beginning, rising above everything that had been destroyed before. And here we are now. With my goals clearly set in mind, I finally decided it was time to begin constructing my new base. This wasn't just any base either. This one had purpose behind every section. I carefully planned out what I wanted, thinking ahead about what would matter most in the long run. After some consideration, I decided that the last 2 sections of my base would be dedicated to a corn farm and a chili pepper farm, as those resources would most likely become some of the most important for survival and progression. The process was steady, and although it took time, I could already begin to see everything coming together piece by piece. Still, after a while, I felt the need to switch things up a bit. So instead of continuing construction, I shifted into what I like to call trap mode. The trap I designed this time was an autumn and cherry leaf funnel trap. It wasn't just thrown together randomly either. I put real thought into how it would function and, more importantly, how it would deceive. I carefully placed the leaves so they blended naturally with the ground, making them appear completely normal to anyone walking across them. From the outside, it looked harmless, almost as if nothing was there at all. But underneath that illusion was the real design. To make the trap even more effective, I placed distractions around the area. These were meant to draw attention away from the danger and increase the chances of someone stepping in the wrong place. They can't teleport away, and they can't right-click either, because I filled the area with crafting tables and potion tables scattered everywhere. So, after a while, I attempted to lure him into the trap. But, alas, he never obliged, and left me to leave the game and try the next time he logs on. The very next day, he wasn't on at all, and the day after that, and the day after that. At this point, it didn't even feel important anymore. It had slowly faded into nothing more than a side quest in the back of my mind. Something unfinished, sure, but not worth stopping everything for. So instead, I shifted my focus to the main attraction, my new base. I got straight to work, finishing up the second and third floors with the materials I had been grinding for. The structure finally started to feel complete, not just like a build, but like something stable, something mine. Alongside that, I added a wood farm for consistency, along with beetroot, carrot, and potato farms to keep everything self-sufficient. The third floor became more specialized. I designed it to hold a watermelon and melon farm, along with a grass section to support plans I had in mind. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about control, efficiency, and preparation. Then came the final section. I dedicated it entirely to mushrooms, not just for resources, but because it made setting traps far easier. Everything had a purpose now. Every floor, every block, every corner of the base served a role. And just like that, it was done. After 3 full weeks of building, trapping, relocating, and constantly adapting, I had finally finished what I started. The base stood complete, stronger, smarter, and ready. But there was still one thing left to do. Revenge is best served cold, but mine comes with the silence that follows the storm.